touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Okay, now let's have Food and Drugs Authority to say with the minister. Okay, Honorable Minister, please introduce yourself and those of your delegation.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Kwabena Minta Akando, MP for Draboso and the Minister for Health. And I will allow the other officers to also introduce themselves. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Seth Saneke. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of Health Products and Technologies at the Food and Drugs Authority.
Good morning. Gerhard Spencer, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Acting, Corporate Services Division.
Good morning, sir. My name is Nicholas Agbomaji, the Director of Finance, Food and Drugs Authority. Thank you.
Good morning, and my name is Desmond Boateng, Chief Director, Ministry of Health.
Sorry, the Auditor General, if they could, Auditor General could introduce himself.
Good morning, my name is Patricia Dako, Assistant Auditor General.
Good morning, my name is Michael Ado, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning, my name is Kojo Cheme, Assistant Auditor General, Audit Service.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is William Ejei, Assistant Auditor General. Thank you.
Okay. We are going to look at the financial performance of Food and Drug Authority. And the person to do that is Honorable Frank Yeboah. And it's on paragraph 691.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Food and Drugs Authority. I want to start by commending you for a very good work done. You move a loss or a deficit situation of 1.8 million in 2022 to 24.6 million in surplus in 2023, and percentage increment of 1,268%. That is very, very good. So I don't have much to say, but I just need some explanation. If we look at your financial performance, I'm seeing GOG compensation received. What is it?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Food and Drug Authority receives GOG subvention in the form of salaries of staff. So the salary government pays on behalf of staff is what we term GOG subvention in terms of compensation.
So the money received from the government in respect of salary is that one?
Yes, sir.
But if you go to the expenditure, the compensation is different. You receive 38 million and you paid 64 million. Is that the case?
Yes, so Honorable Chair, the compensation in the expenditure is twofold. We have that of GOG compensation and IGF compensation put together. So the compensation for the whole FDA is both GOG compensation and IGF compensation. That's why that figure is bigger than the receipt from government.
I'm seeing donor inflows, 13 million. And if you go to the expenditure, donor outflows, 9 million. What's accounting for that?
So, Honorable Chair, the donor inflow represents funds we receive from donor agencies in terms of grants for our projects. In the course of spending, we may not spend all in the financial year. So we receive about 12 million and we spend about 9 million. So that's what has been indicated in the financial report. Thank you.
As I said, the report is good. So let's go to your financial position. I don't have much to say there, except to still give you some commendation for moving your current ratio from 4.1 to 1 to 8.0 to 1, meaning that you have enough cash to meet your short-term financial obligations. So I will just end here and advise that we keep the momentum. It's very good. Well done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, we'll look at the management issue. And Honorable Abna Osiasar will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I go to that, I want to ask them what their retention percentage is. I see that with your IGF for 2022, you transferred 36 million into the consolidated fund. And in 2024, when you made 141 million, you transferred 38 million into the consolidated fund. And then in 2023, you made 184, and you transferred 47.2 million. What is your retention percentage?
So, Honorable Chair, thank you very much. The retention has been changing over the years. It was 33% in 2017. By 2019, it moved to about 67. As at the time of this report, it was 70%. We were retaining 70% of our IGF generation.
What is the process that you go through to have your retention percentage amended?
Honorable Chair, I think we apply to the Ministry of Finance for consideration, and they write to us to change it, to amend it for us.
Yeah, I'm surprised it has changed over time. Within the shortest possible time, you've moved from 33% to 70%. That's why I'm asking. And so you paid 30% into the consolidated fund. And are you doing that consistently?
Yes, Honorable Chair, it's been deducted as source, so it's very consistent. And I must also put on record that you have been of tremendous help to us, to FDA, by helping us to facilitate the movement from the 33 to the 70% we currently hold. So,
did you say she did?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did, because I remember going to her office with my boss. So she did. Okay. And we're asking for 100% retention. So if we can still get 100%, that would be great for us.
All right.
Thank you.
And also, your business at the port. And these days, we still find, I wouldn't say, maybe for lack of a better word, unwholesome things on our markets. But I know you are at the ports, checking all these things. How come some of these things are able to slip?
Honorable Chair, yes, we are at the ports, but you also agree that we have a lot of porous borders within the country. In fact, we have borders that even we do not have customs and even immigration manning within the country, because they are so porous, and it's not all the borders that we man. So we have unapproved routes, and so
they are not borders but unapproved routes.
Unapproved, yes,
because
unapproved
for our
routes.
borders, I know that we have customs and the necessary or relevant bodies there. So maybe unapproved routes.
Unapproved routes. So I think from those areas we have those things slipping in. But we also have a strong post-market surveillance activities on the ground. So whenever our attention is drawn to them, we act swiftly to make sure that those products are not on our market. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, getting to Christmas, you see all shades and quality of cooking oil on the market. And sometimes it is very, very scary when you have cooking oil that's supposed to be vegetable oil in the sun, and it is like lard, fat. You ask yourself, how did these things slip into our country? Because cooking oil are supposed to have some consistency in terms of the flow. But it's in the sun, but it's as semi-hard. And I know this cannot be the regular cooking oil. So we will ask that the surveillance will be more, especially around the Christmas festivity, so that we don't have some of these things and slipping in there. Your last one, Minister, has to do with the gift miss revenue processing model. The Auditor General said that during the audit in 2023, you hadn't implemented it. And so if you can give us an update whether it has been implemented and moving forward, you are using it as you are supposed to use it.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, the caption is not wholly true. The observation given to us was that it was not fully being implemented, not that it's not being implemented at all. But we have now trained the staff to fully implement it, so it's been done now.
You have maybe, so you can't say the caption is not true. Something that is not fully implemented is not implemented. Yes. So the auditors are right, but I'm glad and happy that you said you are now, you have fully implemented it and you are using it. So things done in-house are not what? You went to Sunday school, so you should complete it for me. Yes, they are not done right. So, Honorable Minister, I think I'm done with.
Thank you very much.
All right, Food and Drug Authority, you are done. Now let's call National Health Insurance Authority.
Auditors, I think I failed to ask you to confirm. Can you please confirm if yes?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the model has been implemented and they are currently using it.
National Health Insurance Authority, could you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Honorable Chair, my name is Richard Ajmambadu, Acting Director, Budget and Management Accounting, NHIA.
Honorable Chair, my name is Raphael Sekbeb, Acting Deputy Chief Executive, Administration and HR.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Dr. Victor Asare Bampo, Acting CEO.
Just to remind everybody, you are live on GTV, live on Facebook, and so many other outlets. Now, National Health Insurance Authority. Let's look at your financial performance in 2021 and 2022. Looking at it, your total income was down about 121 million. Why so? It was down to comparing 2021 and 2022.
Honorable Chair, thank you. Honorable Chair, basically this was due to a reduction or decrease in the levies, which was about 100 million from between 2021 and 2022.
Why people were not paying?
That's the National Health Insurance levies, the collections.
Okay. Now let's look at your expenditure. Claims of service providers in 2022 went up by over 400 by 41%. How so?
Honorable Chair, this was due to the increase from our claims bill. That's about 500 million, and it was due to increase in medicine list.
And look at your ID cards and biometric expense. It went from 53.7 million to 84.8 million. Why that big jump?
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. This was due to our target increase of our membership, the registration of the total population of the nation.
But it looks like every time we register people, we never finish registering these people. What happens? Why?
Honorable Chair, we have to reach universal health coverage by 2030. So we have even limited time to get there.
So a surplus of 606 million in 2021 ended up being a deficit of 178 in 2022.
Honorable Chair, very well. As I said, our claims will increase by 500 million, whilst the national health insurance levies decreased by 100 million. So between those two bills, there was even a decrease in 400 million, a difference of 400 million.
And we're looking at your current ratio as of 2022. It's 1.9 to 1. And in the case of 2021, it was 2.8 to 1. What has been the current trend now?
Honorable Chair, the current trend has improved because we have received more monies from Contractor. At that time, there was significant amount in receivables. That is arrears.
So we should have hope in National Health Insurance Authority.
Honorable Chair, there is hope.
Good.
Chair, just to inform the House that at the moment, the National Health Insurance is doing prompt payment. So, in fact, the allowable period for arrears per the tradition or precedence is 3 months. But as I speak to you now, they pay almost every month. So if there's any outstanding for any service provider, then maybe the service provider hasn't brought their claims. So every month we do payment. And the Minister for Finance has also been very, very cooperative and helpful.
It is good, Honorable Minister, that you say that, because NHIA, there was always an issue about non-payment. So sometimes you go to hospitals, they wouldn't take your card and everything else. All right. That's good. Now let's go to management issues. Let's hold on for a follow-up from Madam Abna Osei-Asare.
Thank you very much. Please, let's go to your financial position. In a year where you claim they reduced your income, the incomes that came to you, we saw your non-current assets moving from 98 million in 2021 to 310 million. So I'm thinking that you're saying that not much was given to you in the form of levies, and then you chose to spend on plants, buildings, and that's, at least that's what the financial position here speaks to. Because in 2021, where you had 2.2 million, you spent just, your non-current assets was 98 million. And then in 2022, where you claim your income was reduced, you rather shot up your non-current assets at the expense of what? Claims, payments, or what?
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. This was due to the payments made on ongoing projects that we completed in the year.
So it's not like you had money and you were able to use some to complete your project. So it wasn't like the incomes or the levies that came in was not enough, because you even had more to increase your non-current asset by over 200%. So when you are stating your finances, you usually state it in that terms, that because you were here saying that we saw a loss, a deficit, because your levies came down. Your levies came down, but your non-current assets shot up. So you just put your money where what? Your nose was. And I think in explaining, you just have to put that out there also, so that you create a true and fair view of the accounts and proceedings as it's at the National Health Insurance. Thank you very much.
Well noted, Honorable Chair.
Now let's look at the management issues in his own paragraph 723, and Honorable Bauer will take care of that.
Thank you, Chairman. They said infraction relates to non-transfer of funds from SNIT. And the auditors are saying your receivable amount of 564 million, 948,323.34 Ghana cedis was not, could not be traced to any bank account of the National Health Insurance Fund as at the time of the audit. And if you go to 725, they are saying that the situation makes it difficult for the authority to meet its objectives as set out in Section 40 of the Act that establishes you, Act 852, and therefore recommended that there should be, management should reconcile with the Controller General and Accountant General to reconcile all the transfers and recover the outstanding amount. Can you walk us through as to whether you've been able to recover this receivable that we are supposed to receive from the SNIT?
Honorable Chair, SNIT has paid all the amount, and this has been confirmed by the Auditor General's office.
Auditor General, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, the entire amount has been paid by SNIT. Thank you.
I think that should be all. But let me also commend the leadership of NHIA for the human job that you are doing. Now we no longer have the calls from our clients that I've been to the hospital, they are saying my NHIA card is not working and I need to go and buy drugs again. So, Dr. Bampo and your team, a part of your back, and then we plead that at least you continue with the good work that you are doing in line with the reset agenda of President Dr. Dramani Mahama.
We thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Minister, this is a public interest question. And, oh, Minister, this time you are wrong because you don't know what I'm going to ask. My issue has to do with, the medicine list, the medicines list. How does a drug get onto it? Do you look at diseases and illness that are common and prevalent in our communities before you put them there? Because 2 days ago, Minister, you came to Parliament to answer a question on the hepatitis B issue. You hardly find it. We know vaccines should be relatively cheaper to buy. But that particular hepatitis B vaccine, prevention vaccine, I think it's around 1,000 or 1,002, but it shouldn't be. And it's because I believe it is not on the list. So I'm asking, how does a drug get onto the medicines list? And and there are certain drugs that many Ghanaians feel will have to be on the list and are not on the list. What is the process that we have to go through to get those drugs on the medicines list?
Honorable Chair, this is a very important question. The Ministry of Health sets up a group that considers the current disease trends and the kinds of drugs that must come onto the list. And we are all stakeholders of that group. And that brings up the standard treatment guidelines. And I'm saying it's important because yesterday we had a stakeholders conference where NHIA brought together all the stakeholders. And exactly this same drug vaccine that you're talking about, it came up. So it's one of the things that we're going to be looking at to put on the list.
And Minister, I also want to find, there are certain diseases that are difficult to manage in terms of their medication. Is there a way we can get it on there at subsidized costs so that at least people going through those ailments and diseases can also get some relief?
Before I come to this question, the issue about the hepatitis B that came up on the floor were of two legs. One was about the vaccines, and the other was about the treatment. And so the vaccines, I informed the House that plans are far in advance to include it in the traditional immunization. I informed the House. Then my attention was drawn to the fact that there are some medications that are used for the treatment are not on the National Health Insurance list. And so I assure the House that that will be considered, and then I will make sure we'll put it on the National Health Insurance list. But it must go through a process. It must be convincing. We must establish the need for it and all that. But I think it's a very important issue we need to, consider. Yeah.
Minister, finally, yesterday you held a press conference on the Minister. I told you I'll be asking
so
for better.
It didn't disappoint me at all.
Yes, Minister, I told you. I told you I'll be Minister. For me, my issue has to do with the fact that the contract was for a certain number of networked hospitals or health centers, and you have out of the 900 or 950, correct me please, 450 has been done, and per the payments that you claim has been made, the total contract amount was 100 million. 77, did you say 77 or 76 has been paid, and you're saying that it is more than the work that has been done. Minister, have we taken steps to find out from the vendors, one, why they failed to scale it to the amounts that they have been paid? And two, you said now moving forward we have a new vendor. And so is the new vendor going to clear the outstanding, or that's the difference of the 450 less the 450 less the 900? That difference, is the vendor going to get them on board, or the vendor is going to start, a new vendor is going to start all over? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. As you recall, I responded to this question on the floor of the House and per the standing orders of the House. Under normal circumstances, I should not be repeating it on this committee. But then, Mr. Chairman, I will take the challenge and give the committee the explanation very well. So I will take the challenge up. Mr. Chairman, we inherited an electronic system that an agreement was signed in 2019. The contract sum was $100 million. They were supposed to connect about 950 health facilities. The contract was supposed to expire 3 years later, so that will come to 2022. At the end of 2022, they had not connected all the 950. Some other reasons were given for the underperformance. Now, the government then extended the contract to expire in 2023. 2023. At the end of the 2023, again, not all the 950 facilities had been connected. The government again extended the contract to expire on the 31st December 2024. So something that originally was meant for 3 years has been extended to 5 years. Now, out of the $100 million, about $77 million has been paid. Now, when we came, under normal circumstances, the contract was divided into what we call milestones. So when milestone 1 is completed, it must be given to the state before you even go to milestone 2. And that was what the ministry or government should have insisted on before even allowing the next milestone. And that was not done. And so when we took over, when the contract had expired, so issues of abrogation or termination doesn't arise because there was no contract. It doesn't arise because there was no contract. Now, what we said was that before we take over, we must know what we are inheriting. And so a forensic audit was conducted, and we saw a lot of gaps, especially the hardware. You realize that issues of quantity, issues of quality of materials provided were not up to specification. They quantified that, and that was about $18 million. There were other issues. Again, as part of the third milestone, they were supposed to connect about 157 facilities. And the government paid about 10 point something, almost $11 million. That, again, shouldn't have been the case. Because, no, it's part of the 77. Because it is not meant for pre-finance. You execute the contract and you pay. But the government at the time paid. So out of the 157 health facilities that must be connected, only 7 were verified. 7 were verified. And so today, it will interest you to know the immediate past health minister clearly admitted in his his write-ups and circulating that the contractor has been overpaid. I'm not saying it. And so when we came, we said, wait a minute. Now there are gaps. I invited him to the ministry to have a conversation with him, because under normal circumstances, we should have access to the data. And Mr. Chairman, in all this, what is very important and sensitive is not even about the gaps or the money issue. It has to do with our data and access to our service. National security is a national security issue. So what we said was that you should have handed over to the state. Now, the state doesn't have access to our data and our service. And so we are ready, because the software doesn't belong to the state. It's his property. And that's another sensitive issue to deal with. And so no problem. We'll sign what we call service maintenance agreement with you for 2 years, so that we will not experience the disruptions we are experiencing at the moment. When we got that, but before we do that, give us access to our data. Give us our service. The contractor or the vendor insisted that if we don't take issues of data out of the contract, he was not going to sign. Yes. Mr. Chairman, at this point, let me put my CEO for National Health Insurance on the spot. He was one of the people who led this negotiation. I didn't seek his permission to put his name out. That's why I'm saying I'm putting him on the spot. He was one of the people who led this negotiation. Because at a point in time, I had used all diplomacy, so I had to stay back in the interest of the country. That's why you don't want to know the other tangentials. But I had to stay back to push some of my CEOs. Mr. Chairman, for your information, we were not dealing with a reasonable human being. And so he said we should take that one out. And again, instead of us verifying 450 health facilities, he says, no way, put in 461. Yes, that's why I have cited a witness. He said, we can't do this. In all this, we were engaging him. But what we realized was that the country was virtually begging him and switching the thing on and off because we had no solution. At that point, I had to take a bold and courageous decision to find a solution. And what is the solution? The solution is that the country must own the software. And even if the country was not owning the software, and we had created a middleware, an exchange, where any vendor will plug in, even if any vendor is bluffing, we could have secured our data. We didn't have that. And so, for the past 2 weeks, Mr. Chairman, the whole system has been switched off. And that is why you hear issues of national health insurance card were not being verified. The Chairman, you hear issues of we are going back to the paper system and all that. So, Mr. Chairman, what I think is important and Ghanaians must know, and Mr. Chairman, we didn't respond to all these things because we thought that it was not for the ministry or the minister to come and lament. We should have solutions. Mr. Chairman, we had no option than to engage and to have a software that is for the state. So we are working on the software that is for the state, which is now, instead of the LIMS, which is the Lightwave Health Information Management System, we are working on Ghana Health Information Management System that the state will own. Now we have put in place the middleware that even if we're inviting more vendors, they will come and plug into the system and that the data will be lodged into it. Now, the second leg of your question about the remainder, the 500, because he has not done the 500, and one of the issues why we are where we are is that the system was monopolized. If there were about 4 or 3 or 2 vendors, maybe if he's maybe squeezing our balls at this point, the others may not. And so going forward, the decision is that the 500 left, we are going to open up. But we have to deal with this emergency situation. So what we have done is that we are rolling out the software. We have a 4-week plan. We are doing the piloting. All other agencies are on board. Medical superintendents are on board. CEOs of the various agencies who are interested parties are on board. AG on board. Yoko on board. NITA on board. All other cybersecurity, everybody is on board. Where we have to retrieve what belongs to the state, the appropriate agencies will deal with that. For now, the ministry's target aim is to look at how we can get out of this mess, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Minister, you see the platform I gave initially, you were reluctant to respond. But you see, this platform is for free. You are not paying any money. You are not paying for any item 13 because, it is here and we are taking care of all that. Yes.
You know you are Abena and I'm Kwabena.
You are Abena and I'm Kwabena. Minister, there's one thing you mentioned that the minister said, the former minister said, the vendor has been overpaid. And it's in...
I have a write-up. Seth, if you are here and you are listening to me, please give me my file. Mr. Chairman, today I woke up to a response from the immediate past minister. Okay. And Seth, are you here? I woke up to a response from the immediate past. And if anything, I told you should be keeping quiet. It's not in his interest to be talking because he overpaid the contractor.
Minister, respectfully, if you can go straight.
So I read.
So, yes, because he's not here. Yeah,
this is one of the things he said. He said that payment have been 62% from the Ministry of Finance and 68% from the National Health Insurance Authority, totaling 76.99 million paid. So he has admitted that about 77 has been paid. And $23 million outstanding. Now hear this. As of December 2024, reconciliation showed an unutilized advance of 10.6 million yet to be expended by the vendor. And he is the one who paid this. Why should you be talking?
So, Minister, well, this does not translate into the person being overpaid. I thought you said the person put it out there that he said an advance has been given, but it hasn't been utilized.
No. Mr. Chairman,
yes.
This is not a prepayment procedure. So you pay as and when you have executed the job. So if you are paid more than the work you have done, you have been overpaid.
And you said the minister said that.
Yes, yes.
For me, that is what I want to establish. The former minister
said
that
should not be created
the vendor
as though,
has been overpaid.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, so the impression should not be created as though saying this doesn't mean overpayment. That's number one. That impression should not be created. And then maybe you should come out to say he didn't write this. But this is what he has written.
Since this has come up at a Public Accounts Committee meeting, which is live everywhere, Minister, if you could give us a copy of that so that it will be part of our files.
A copy of
the minister's
Okay.
A copy, the document that you read
no
from.
problem. I can staple them
give,
together.
you give us a copy.
It's been
so
titled, what is the title?
That will be in our files. You can get it later and give it to our clerk.
Okay, so it's been titled The Limbs Controversy, a case of giving the dog a bad name to hang it. That's the title.
So when we get a copy.
No problem.
Okay.
And it's signed by?
No, I didn't say it's signed. I said this is what he has put out there.
And is it in the name of them? You mentioned that it's in the name of the immediate past. That's why
Yes. So,
it has that indication on the
former,
document.
Yes, it has that indication on there. It says a former Minister for Health, Dr. Okoboy writes.
Okay.
So, and it's all over social media. I mean, Ghanaians listening to me know.
Well,
I mean,
I haven't seen it, but we'll be happy to have a copy of it.
You are the only person who have not seen it. You are the only person who have not seen it.
Minister, I beg your pardon. That is not the case. I'm sure there are quite a number of us here who haven't seen it. But I'll be happy to have a look at it, and then, we can take that.
Minister, thank you for the explanation. Honorable Kwabena Akando, thank you for the explanation. And as you rightly pointed out, you saw this thing on the internet. It could be the case that it wasn't written by the immediate past minister. So I will plead that we'll disregard that until we can authenticate that it's coming from the immediate past minister. Number two.
Honorable member, that's why I said we need a copy to be on our files.
Yeah, I wanted to place emphasis on it for everybody to know that it's just, he saw it, Okoboy writes.
Mr.
It
Chairman,
could be anybody's.
I said so. I didn't hide it from the committee.
Yes.
It's exactly what I said.
So that which is very good. But my point is that you shouldn't have made another comment on that. We heard you.
Mr. Chairman, you know. You
no, we heard you. No, we heard you right. So
yes.
for you to have said you shouldn't have done it, you
Mr.
went
Chairman,
extra mile to have said that you shouldn't have done it.
Mr. Chairman,
meaning that if
I don't intend this banter.
No.
I put it on
okay,
record that I was not even going to.
Okay, Minister, that's fine.
So, yes,
that's
yes,
fine.
yes.
You said what you said. Ghanaians are listening, so we heard what you said. So let's move on. So let's move on, please. The second one is, you said you've gotten another contractor to continue the project. Did I hear you right, please?
Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, I didn't expect this. If I was going to do this, probably you would have informed me in advance to bring the necessary documentations, and I thought that I was going to take the opportunity to explain to you what really has happened. So, Mr. Chairman, with the greatest of respect, where I have gotten to, if you indulge me, I think we will leave it here.
Yes. Honorable Minister. No, it's a question you can answer. You ask him if he has another contractor or not, yes, right? On the project. Yes.
I'm ahead saying something like, Mr. Chairman, you've gotten some Ghana, something. Unless you want to retract whatever he said, then I will also take my question back.
Ask him a question.
Yeah, he hasn't answered.
Okay, he will answer.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if you need any better and detailed particulars on this matter, I can assure you, you can invite me at any time and I'll appear.
Thank you. So that's his answer.
Chairman, sorry, please. Is it the case that he's retracting whatever he said?
No. No. This is live. We all know it. He says if you want better and further particulars on the contractor or whatever is going on, he's ready to give it to us.
Good. Thank you very much. The reason why I asked this question is the fact that please, Honorable Akando, please, Honorable, please, I know. He spoke about the fact that the contract, the first one, wasn't done properly, if you like, among other things. So I wanted to make sure that this one is entered into was done the proper way, so that we will not go back to the same problem again.
That wouldn't be for Public Accounts Committee to find out whether he did it right or wrong. What we are asking for, no. He said, the minister said, if we want further information on it, he'll provide it. And after he's provided that, then we'll see whether he did it right or wrong. Isn't that so? All right, Honorable Gapen.
1 minute. Minister, Mr. Rankin is here saying after what we will ask for you to provide, but it's just a word of caution. That, as you said, you needed to get a vendor to bring about solutions to the issues you were facing. Please take note that it's today, it's immediate, you needed to do something. When COVID came in 2020, we needed to do something. quickly, at that time, everybody saw the urgency, the need to sort of cut short some steps and then get to solutions. Today, it may be the same thing, but I'm only urging you to be very cautious, because today we understand we are in it. We need that data, because what is the use if you can't have your previous history when a doctor needs to take care of you? But tomorrow, after the problem or the solution has been found, nobody will remember that it was urgent, and so you needed to do some things to cut short certain processes in the procurement chain. So this is just an advice to you, because I have seen some before. In the COVID era, we needed to cut short certain steps to provide needed essentials to our citizens. So, and it's the same, it's a similar thing, because I can imagine patients going to the hospital without their history, and it will be frustrating to them and even to the doctors who are taking care of them. So this is just a cautious a message to you, that in you coming out with processes and solutions, to solve this particular problem, let's look at the processes, so that 1-2 years later, you don't have to appear here saying that you being cited for a breach in the procurement process or any other thing that will warrant the ministry to be called before public account. This is just a note of caution.
This is a fantastic advice, and I appreciate it so much, and I will religiously be guided by that. But Mr. Chairman, just to add, it was not in anybody's interest to even, some of these things are national security sensitive, not in anybody's interest to even put some of these issues out there. Mr. Chairman, when you go to a ministry and you are solving problems and stories are being planted in the media as though you are creating the problems, if you decide to keep quiet, you dig your own grave. So some of these explanations are sometimes needed for Ghanaians to understand what you have inherited and how you are solving the situation. It is not, I mean, the story has been planted for a very long time. We just came out to...
Butu me panu sututu hey ekogu apomompoa mensuro noka wo